The thing that's holding back a lot of young men is the fact that they are so ambitious, but they do not know what to do, and they have no principles guiding them in any direction inside of their life. My name is Dearenee Nelson, and I'm 22 years old. And in today's video, I'll be explaining the 3 principles, or let's say just a few principles, which I'll be following strictly if I was to go back to being 18 years old again. And the first one that I want to speak about is something that is understood but rarely acted upon. And it is the earlier you start, the better. And it's the earlier you start reading that book, the earlier you start that business, the earlier you start anything, the earlier you start it, the better. And the main reason why is because no matter what, you're going to do it. Realistically, if it's something that you want to get done, you're going to do it. So the only way that I look at it is you can either start doing it today and get the reps in, get the failure in, get all of these losses earlier, or you can keep procrastinating on this thing that you already said you want to do, wait till you reach an older age, and then eventually start it. Where at that point in time, you may most likely have more responsibilities, you're more financially tied up, you can't be as risky, meaning you are less likely to want to do the thing because you can't make as many failures as you could when you were younger. When I started going to the gym at the age of 15, it was barely risky because I could go get injured, I could spend all my money, I could do anything and still have multiple years to bounce back afterwards. But let's say I am now a 45-year-old man and I've never done anything physically fit in my 45 years of living. Now me starting a gym is way more risky because I could get injured and lose my job, could potentially no longer be able to provide for my family, could lose my house, so many things. But when I was 15 years old, I'm living with my parents, I'm covered, I'm spending my parents' money on the meal prep, so I don't lose anything at all. That's exactly how you must be thinking, even with investing. Let's say you're thinking about putting money into the S&P 500. I'm pretty sure with the way the maths work, if you start investing £200, I think let's say £250, or let's say dollars, technically £200, but $250 per month from the age of 25 until you reach retirement age, you will become a millionaire. But that same amount of goal, that same goal you want to hit to become a millionaire, let's say fast forward now, you're now 50 years old. I am pretty sure you have to be investing anywhere between £1,000 to £2,000 per month for you to become a millionaire at retirement age. That's just to show you the difference between the compounding effect. And that's the main reason why you want to start things earlier. Because the earlier you start something, the more time you have for this thing to compound. And skills, value, everything, investments, it's all about compounding. Today it will barely serve you, but take it 10, 15, 20 years down the line, once that said thing starts to compound, you will start to reap even greater rewards than when you started from day one. Investing, by the time you reach 10 years down the line, the way that thing will compound and the amount of annual interest you'll be gaining per year will be so much more than the first year. So please understand, with anything in your life, the earlier you start that thing, the better. Don't procrastinate on it. Start taking action on it today and you will drastically start to see the results come in now, but even better, you will see the results 10, 15 years down the line. The next principle is for you to avoid as much financial waste as possible. Whilst you are younger, use that time to save. If you are living at home, you are living with parents, you don't go to university, you don't have the car, the house, the rent, all those sorts of things, use that time to save the money. Because by the time you get to 25, 30, 40, and you were living by yourself, the amount of money that you could have saved inside your teens would have helped you drastically. You never know when a rainy day is coming. The best possible thing you can do is have at least some to be able to prepare for that day. And along that time frame, a lot of us like to fall for the propaganda, and I myself used to fall for this a lot. With trying to get the most expensive clothes, trying to get the new car, trying to get all these sorts of things. And I made a video on this today because I saw a girl speak about how a lot of platonic relationships and a lot of actual relationships are becoming so performative that every single person online is trying to look like the most richest, best, perfect living person. But the truth is, we all have our seasons. This could be your down season, and 2 years down the line could be your up season. This could be your down season. 10 years down the line could be your up season. This could be your up season. And next year, without you even understanding, it could be your down season. So the smartest thing any single person can possibly do is ensure that they are preparing for that time and not trying to conform to all of these messed up norms of everybody trying to look like the richest and best person inside of the world. Every single person has down periods. Every single person has up periods. Every single person loses money and every single person makes money. So just be wise with that. Understand that that money that you make whilst you are young will be the foundation that you'll be building upon by the time you become older. So avoid the propaganda, avoid the sorts of things. I know it feels nice. Yes, treat yourself out here and there. Maybe your birthday, buy yourself some nice clothes. Christmas, buy yourself some nice clothes. But don't be somebody who's an avid spender, where you spend all of your money every single month, especially if you're not investing at all. Be wise of it, because trust me, by the time you are my age, which is just 3 years, 4 years, after 18, you'll thank yourself for the habit of you not being a habitual spender. Because if all you do, you just spend your money, you get your money in and you spend your money out, you can never reach any realm of life, because for you to be able to build a business, for you to be able to have a family, you can't spend all your money. You must be able to save and invest. The next principle which I'll give you is for you to get yourself into the gym. Now, this is for you to start prioritizing your health from now. And this links to the earlier you start, the better. Because once again, the earlier you start focusing on your health and you start focusing on your physique, literally the better. Your health is your wealth. You don't want to be that person who is overweight, fat, but a millionaire or a billionaire. Sure, you might be living a cool life here and there, being able to buy whatever you want, but your dome, your temple, as the Bible calls it, would be messed up. You'd be consumed by greed, by gluttony, and waking up and just moving will feel hard. I have a pretty decent physique right now. When I am bulked up, even I feel messed up. So I can only imagine somebody who has no physical prowess inside their life, no activity, and they are bulked up. Let's just say they are fat. I can't imagine how it feels to live like that. The way your hormones will be messed up, the way you'll be feeling messed up mentally, the way you'll be doubting yourself. You do not want to live a life like that. So if you are 18 or even younger, get yourself into the gym. It was even amazing. Today, me and my boy was training inside of the gym. And obviously we're both 22 years old. And we were talking to these 15, 14, 13, 16-year-olds who were training inside the gym as well. And just being able to see that they started at this age, because I started at 15. So for me, that at least at my age, there was almost nobody training. Nowadays, you see people training from 12, 13, 14, 15. That is exactly what you guys should be doing. Using your youth correctly, getting yourself into the gym, grinding from now, and starting that habit then will change your life by the time you're my age. And not even just because of the way you look, but additionally the way you think. Because the way that I am today is legitimately because I started going gym early, because I built that discipline from younger. So I became a disciplined individual from then, which has helped me to become a disciplined individual today. I'm able to do what I do with my business, do what I do with my challenges, my goals, everything because of that. So if you have the chance, start training, start focusing on your health, start going to the gym. Because trust me, within 3, 4, 5, 6 years down the line, you will be in a completely different position than if you did not start going to the gym. The fourth principle, which is actually going to be quite a controversial one, but it's something that I wholeheartedly believe, even though I right now don't practice it, and it's for you to stay as single for as long as possible. And I am taken now. So I'm actually coming from the lens of being a single person and a taken person. Being in a relationship is amazing. Going towards marriage and getting married is amazing. Every single man should have that goal. But every single man must know his time. And the main reason why I say this is because while we are younger, once again, we will see online the propaganda. We want to be with the hottest girl. We want to be able to go out on the most expensive dates. And of course, once again, this is links to your season. Your time will come. But if you're not there financially, please don't even try it. I'm just even talking about financially. There's so many other aspects such as mentally, emotionally, psychologically, if you aren't ready. But I'm speaking financially. If you're not financially ready, do not do it. Then, if you are financially ready, but you aren't there mentally, emotionally, and psychologically, do not do it to yourself. Because as much as it is beautiful and amazing, there is so much work that has to go into it. And it's the same way that you look at going to the gym, same way you look at going into business. Of course, at some point in time, every single person must go through it, if you obviously desire to have a relationship. And I push every single person to go towards it. But at least build yourself a strong foundation. Make sure you're mentally checked out. And when I say that, it doesn't mean just go to therapy, all sorts of things. Of course, if you need to go to therapy, go to therapy. But ensure you are in a place mentally to the point where you actually have the availability for somebody else. For somebody to be able to come into your life and not feel like you are a closed book, who is scarred and hurt from past relationships and past trauma, because that's not good fair on you, and it's especially not fair on them. All because you may look the part doesn't mean you have to actually be a part of the part. It's better for you to wait and get yourself into the position where you can actually be your wholehearted self for that person or whoever the person may be, than to rush into things. And a lot of young people are getting into a lot of heartbreak and fast marriages and crazy commitments at this young age without even understanding who they are. So do all of the work necessary, or not even all of it, do a lot of the work, at least do some work before flinging yourself in there. Because of course it is possible. There is so many people out there with amazing relationships. I'm not going to say that is not possible. But the best advice that I can give to the average person is for you to stay single for as long as possible. Don't stay single forever, but get yourself into a position where you have the finances, the mentality, the psychology, and let's say the emotions to be able to actually be in a relationship. And if you don't know what that looks like, there is multiple videos out there, there's multiple mentors, multiple coaches out there for you to learn from, for you to then understand, oh cool, this is where I need to be for me to be with the person that I want to be with. And it makes me go back to a story which I remember from a video, and it was of a priest talking about when he wanted to get married. And what he was speaking about was, he said he wanted to get this type of person, this, and I'm pretty sure he was talking to an older priest. For the preference of the story, I'm going to say that. So a younger priest was talking to an older priest about what the type of woman he wanted to marry. So he was like, okay, cool, I want her to be looking like this, I want her to be doing this, have these habits, be this close to God, all sorts of things. And the older priest was like, perfect. Now you become that type of man. You do those sorts of things. If you said you want her to have a close relationship with God, you have a close relationship with God. If you said you want her to go to the gym and focus about her health, you go to the gym and focus about your health. I want to link this to a quote by Charlie Munger. For you to get a good mate, you must be worthy of a good mate. And I think there's another version of it where it's essentially saying, for you want to be with somebody, essentially you have to be somebody worth being with. If you want somebody who's doing anything and you run around and say you want to be with the hottest girl in the world, or let's say you are a girl, you want to be with a rich man, the best looking man in the world, but you yourself do not do anything for that person, well, lo and behold, this is that's not going to work. Once again, there's people out there, but that is not the norm, and operate from the norm. Think about it. That will not be your story. And don't even try to make that your story, because what type of person will you be? The best thing you can possibly do, once again, build your foundation up to the point where you are able to actually commit to somebody and full-heartedly actually be present inside of that relationship, because you aren't being constrained by your flaws. The penultimate principle that I want to give you is for you to develop a long-term mindset. Now, what that looks like is for you to be thinking 10, 15, 20 years down the line and operate like that from today. It is so funny because a lot of people say to me, I either act like I'm older, I think like I'm older, or I look older than I am. And I love to tell them that's not by accident. That is 100% intentional. If you go back to my earlier videos on this channel, I have videos talking about how men must age 10 years in 10 years in 1 year. Men must act like a 40-year-old inside of their teens. And that's a concept that I got from First Man, who's Chris Dearenee. This concept is beautiful. It's so crucial for practically every single man to think like that. Because when you are young and you operate like a man who is older than your current age, you bypass all of the pains, the traumas, the troubles, because you don't do what younger people do. You don't fail like younger people fail. You actually look in and get certain things done. My Saturdays don't look like me going to the club and partying. Now that may sound boring to certain people, but to me that sounds amazing, because on my Saturdays I go to the gym. On my Saturdays I work on my business. On my Saturdays I might spend time with my girlfriend. I'll be meal prepping. Well, now the new schedule is go to the gym with my girlfriend, come back and meal prep with my girlfriend, work on my business at the same time, do all these sorts of things, read. We have a productive Saturday. That's how my Saturdays look like. Because I think, let's say my name is Dearenee, as I said, there's a Dearenee in the future, 40-year-old man, multi-millionaire, owns his business, he's achieved everything he wants to achieve. What will his Saturday look like? Does it look like he's going out there and getting face slammed, drunk, high, and with loads of girls? Or is he having a productive Saturday where, as I said, he's gone to the gym, maybe with his wife, or he's gone by himself, and the kids are at home loving their Saturday. Maybe they've gone to Saturday school, or they've gone to the playground, whatever it may be. We've come back home, we have a lovely dinner, whatever it may be, just an amazing night. Is he doing that, or is he doing the party side? I'm like, of course he's doing that. Of course he's enjoying the Saturday, having a productive time. So I'm like, why the heck would I not do that if I eventually want to live like that? And I don't have by the grace of God, the urge to do these sorts of things. Once again, this links back to the first point. I did all of it when I was like 13. 12, 13, I got it out of my system. Me and my girlfriend laugh about this all the time, because I did a lot of the things that a lot of people our age do now earlier. So now I kind of shun upon it, because I'm like, I don't need to do it anymore, because I've already done it. I've got it out of my system. And that was as I said, when I was 13. Now I'm 22, I don't think about it, and by the grace of God, I hope by the time I'm 30, 40, I will not need to be thinking about it either. Because I enjoy the grind, I enjoy the chase, I enjoy doing the work. And if you develop that mindset from now, by the time you are my age or even older, you will be in such an amazing position, because you won't go there and get drunk. The amount of injuries, random injuries that come from people just being drunk, the amount of mistakes, destroy relationships from people just being drunk alone. Because I don't get drunk, I avoid that. I don't need to do that. Yes, I drink here and there when I go out to dinner. I like a red wine with my meal, but I'm not actively trying to get drunk. The amount of mistakes and pain and trauma I have dodged is uncountable, because it's all potential, but I've dodged it. And I know there's people out there who are not living that story, who are getting drunk, who are making mistakes, who are filling it in certain positions, because they are, as I said, flat out drunk or even high. I did used to have a period when I was smoking. Avoided that, left that from, I can't remember what year, I think I say 2021, 2022. And I said, I have to stop this, because I can't be sitting there, brain fogged out, mentally foggy, can't be sharp, if I'm trying to build a business or trying to just even build as an individual. I said, it's not worth it. It's not worth my life. So I thought about the long term. I said, where do I want to be in 10, 15 years? And I worked my way backwards. And El Nightingale has a story about this, about the fact of two ships, ship A and ship B. Ship A leaves the harbor. It has no captain, no crew, no map, no anything. Ship B, captain, crew, map, everything. Best state-of-the-art technology. Which ship are you going to expect to get to the destination? Ship A or ship B? Well, obviously ship B. Ship A, you'll be lucky if it even leaves the harbor. Ship B, it's most likely getting it to its destination. Why? Because it has its goal. It knows what destination it wants to get to, and it worked backwards and said, okay, cool. I need to have this captain with this amount of crew, with this map pointing to the destination, and I will get there. And that is how you want your life to be. You want to think, I want to get here, so I'm going to do these steps necessary for me to get there eventually. And with that long-term mindset, once again, not only will it save you from failures, it will also drive you immensely towards success. And the final principle, arguably the most important principle, leave nothing to regret. You will never, ever feel angry or bad about doing the hard work, but you will always feel angry and regretful about not doing it. Yes, doing the hard work hurts. Yes, doing the reps hurts. Yes, doing the reps can sometimes be tedious and annoying, but there is nothing worse than regretting not doing it and never getting the outcome and never knowing whether you actually enjoyed it or wouldn't enjoy it. FOMO is a terrible thing. Now, don't allow your FOMO to be coming from you not reaching your potential. That is something that was a driving factor for me when I was younger. I was like, what if I don't achieve it? What if I don't get into the position? So what I said to myself is do the reps, because eventually it's going to be a numbers game. If you go out there and post 10 million pieces of content, you'll most likely get seen by somebody and by a lot of people. You could leverage that. No matter what, you can grow through that. If you go out there and you have, I don't know, 1,000 business attempts and you're actually iterating and innovating and optimizing as well, lo and behold, eventually you will strike gold. Jeff Bezos has this little story, and I think Alex and Moses wants to actually talk to me about the fact that playing baseball and the difference between baseball and real life. That in baseball, you could be hitting bats, missing, and eventually get a strike. And then what's the thing? When you hit it out of the park, yes, you can eventually hit it out of the park. And of course, the metric, or let's say the high end or gain from that, is obviously you just get however many points that gives you. Whereas in life, it can be the exact same thing. You can be missing, and then hit one, and what Alex Emoji calls a grand slam offer. You can just hit it one time, and that one thing could be the thing that changes your life. That one video, that one business idea, that one rep, that one thing could be the thing that changes your whole entire life, your generations to come after you, family trajectory, everything from that one thing. And the only thing stopping you from reaching that thing is you not doing it. You not doing the rep. You not doing anything leading towards that one day. And the last thing I ever want to think about is me not reaching my potential because I decided to not do anything today. That's it. I'm not leaving anything to regret. If I get towards the end of my life and I didn't achieve anything, all I can say is I tried my best. I didn't achieve anything, but at least I know I tried. I'd rather know that I tried and failed than to not try and still fail. No matter what, it's either failure or failure. God forbid, not for me, there's going to be success. But let's say no matter what, it's going to be failure or failure. I would rather know that I tried and failed than to not try and fail, because I know I've done something, rather than just let the society, let the world, let all these random things predict it for me and choose for me. Let me try. And if I try and I fail, lovely, I've tried. But I know there's people out there who are dying from regret, getting to the end of their life because they never said no to people. They never said no to bad opportunities, time wasting. They never actually stuck to their grind, stuck to what they wanted to do. And they're living there with a life full of regret, praying that they could go back in time and utilize that time. I want to give you a little piece of motivation which I put inside of a video today. Every single king, every single sultan, and every single emperor is praying for the one thing that you currently have right now. And that is time. You are so ahead of them that you don't even realize it. All of their gold, their jewelries, their diamonds, their money, it's all gone. They have none of it. They are inside of their graves, apart from Jesus Christ. You have the one thing they want, which is time. So do not waste that time. Utilize that time. Do not leave that time to be a tool for regret. Just allowing every single day, every single week, every single month that you have been wasted. Utilize as much time as you possibly can to work towards what you want to achieve. If you want to achieve nothing, you probably wouldn't watch all this way to this video. If you want to achieve something, leave nothing to regret. Take action. Whether it's you record today, you do something today, I don't care what it is. Start something, start doing it, and eventually you'll achieve what you have set out to achieve.